for one, and two, why do you keep pushing it on Aaron and I, who are both sober, and also you keep pushing fucking like psilocybin microdosing on us too? Like it was, but yeah. So like Thursday night, like Thursday. Okay, how do I put it? Okay, my birthday was Wednesday, and we went to Niagara Falls, uh, and then Aaron wanted to play cards, and there's a casino there, so we were gonna go into the casino. And I wasn't even thinking about this, but like we spent the day, we didn't eat a lot, and we were out in the sun, and wide open areas and big crowds are like kind of a trigger for his seizures.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't really thinking like, oh, we're gonna go to a casino, like with a lot of blinking lights and shit. So we get to the casino, and like I noticed he was looking a little green, and he was like going to go to the ATM, and we're standing in front of these two big machines. One says bill changing, one says ATM, like in big letters. It's very distinguishable. And he didn't know which one was which. And I was like, oh shit. Like confusion is a fucking precursor.
Yeah, a sign.
Yeah. So I was like, so we walked a couple of paces, and I stopped him. I was like, hey, are you okay? And he couldn't talk. He just shook his head.
Oh,
And
shit.
yeah, I got him. I like literally grabbed him by the back of his shirt and like moved him out of the fucking casino. And her reaction to it was not one that I would have expected.
She was concerned, obviously.
No, she was concerned, but she was concerned. She was concerned because she thought he was going to drink, and I was like, "No, he's about to seize out. We're going to have to fucking call 911." And she had. This is where I kind of realized she was a little simple, because she had no idea that like all. She had no idea that all that could trigger a seizure, and like basically like we got outside, and he was like, I can't be around anything. I can't have any sensory input. I gotta go lay down somewhere. So he goes and lays down on the grass, and I'm like, let him go. Like he's okay. I gave him some water. Took his pulse. His pulse was like a fucking like maracas, like, and yeah. So like she really wanted to have dinner there, like really bad. And I was like, we got to take him home. He's told me about his seizures before, and I've heard this from other people with epilepsy. Like they are physically taxing. Like you know, a lot of people, they happen when they're asleep, and like the only way they know that it happened is because they can't get out of bed for 2 days.
Max, I love you, buddy, but you gotta gloss over the details.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so the next day he's out of it. She gets all passive aggressive about like, well, we've only done stuff that Aaron wants to do. And I was kind of like, well, he needs to rest. And Thursday evening, she did a yoga class, and I think she really wanted us to go. And I was like, I don't do yoga. And Aaron was like, I am not getting off this couch.
That's because yoga's fucking hard. I did yoga for like a day, and I was just like, I can't do any of these poses.
And I'm thinking, you say a day, I imagine it was like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I got out of community college, and this hot chick was like, hey, you want to go do yoga with me? And I'm like,
sounds about right.
It's like, yeah, that sounds fucking amazing. Let's do that. So we went out and got stoned, and I couldn't do one fucking pose.
That doesn't, and I don't mean to be like mean, because I couldn't do it.
I don't know. I have ethical concerns about yoga, but I also just don't like it.
Do you have ethical concerns?
Yeah. Okay. Yoga on its own is fine, but you get the gurus involved, and they're all perverts.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's much better to be a pervert in the back of the class than in the front of the class and teaching it.
All I can think about is that sketch, the SNL sketch with Will Ferrell, where he's like been doing yoga for years just to suck his own dick.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And he finally does it, and he's like, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, so she got all like really passive aggressive, like, and that night, like, I don't know what happened, but basically like it went from like happy fun times to how am I going to get back on Friday to pick up my medication, because I've been I like basically pushed it way too far, And
did you fly back, or did you?
No, we were gonna drive back. She was gonna drive us back, and that night, me and
It's
him.
like the
Because
most
that's a
awkward
far
car
drive.
ride.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Oh well, she didn't end up doing it, but basically, like that night, Aaron and I were like texting over Signal, like
And
from
you
one
stole
room
her
to
car.
well, no, I wish. And he's like, I was like, should we rent a car? Because I'm really uncomfortable because she said some weird shit about him to me. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the middle of this shit. And fucking he's like, maybe we should rent a car. And I was like, well, I don't want to rent a car and then like
Wait, hold on.
have her.
So was she just like, I love Aaron so much. I kind of want to feel what it's like inside of him while
Yes,
holding
no,
a knife.
no. She did say she wanted to wear his face, but
That's
um,
typical though.
yeah, no. What she said was, Aaron's starting to feel depressed, and he says he wants to go back on Lexapro, and and I was like, well, maybe that's a good idea, like, and she's like, he keeps he says he's depressed, like it's my fault, and I'm like, what? Like he jumped to that, and I was
yeah,
like, I
it's
don't think,
kind of like paranoid almost.
yeah, like projecting, like, and I was like, I don't think that's what he meant, and she was like, I don't know, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, this is already uncomfortable. So basically, like Friday comes around, I wake up early, and fucking I go to the back room where they're staying, and Aaron's there just sitting on his computer. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, we gotta rent a car. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, she says the windshield wipers are fucked. And I'm like, windshield wipers, huh? He's like, yeah, she doesn't want to drive. And I'm like, I had made it very clear I would only go up there if I could get back on Friday before 7, so I
Yeah,
could pick up my pills. So I don't know if you guys know this, but it's Columbus Day this weekend.
it is.
Uh, there were no flights available on Friday. I think I found the last rental car in New York State in Rochester. So she drove us an hour to
Oh
Rochester,
my god, dude.
and it was probably one of the scariest events of my life.
Was she
She
driving
was
like a maniac?
yeah, she was going 105 on the
Holy
fucking.
fuck.
And I'm like in the back holding the old shit handle. I'm like, oh my god, I'm glad she's going fast, but she's gonna kill us all. And like, yeah, we finally got the car. She cost us Hebrews fucking $700 to rent that fucking car. And like, we're
Dude, it
driving
was
back.
$700 to rent the car for essentially 2 days.
Yeah, we got to return it Monday because, and this is how my brain works. It would have been the same price to rent it for a night, basically, and return it today, as it was to rent it till Monday. And I was like, well, it just seemed crazy to pay all that money and not have it till Monday.
Yeah, no, I would do the same thing,
Right.
right? Like, well, I'll just fucking drive that all weekend rather than my own car. Fucking not put mileage on my
Right.
own shit.
Exactly. So like, oh god, we got to Rochester at 1, and like, I basically hit up all these people to try to pick up my medication for me because we weren't going to be in Sterling but in time, and fucking no one could do it. So I got home. I had like a horrible night last night. So if I go more than a couple of days without my medication, I get restless body syndrome, kind of like restless leg syndrome, but it's my whole body,
Oh my god.
and it's really bad. So yeah, last night sucked. She
Okay.
stole some drugs or some prescription medication from him, and I don't think she was really. I'm just going to end it here. I don't think she was really pregnant.
We're gonna put down the Maxwell Diaries for a second.
Now that should be a fucking podcast.
Yeah, look,
Jesus.
Max.
The stories that you have, bro, like holy shit.
All right, so you guys ready to get this kicked off?
Yeah.
No.
We got 3 urban legends. You just heard one of them.
3. Oh, he actually got me there. I was like 3.
Welcome to fucking Crook and Murder. We were sitting there kind of deciding what we want to do for Halloween, and we kind of came up with this idea that this week's episode is going to be a focus on 2 urban legends that I handpicked. Next week's actually going to be about a witch, and Alex is writing that episode. And then
Tell people that.
that way they can judge you. And then the third week is going
They're
to be
gonna start realizing that I'm not actually a special guest. You're gonna blow my cover.
oh,
He's actually working for a living.
we're paying Alex double the usual amount that we usually pay him.
Yep. And we are making a little money off this, so he's getting a whole $1.
$1, which is like twice as much as what we were paying him before.
Exactly.
The third week is going to be the history of Halloween, and that's going to come in right around Halloween.
Thank you.
So welcome to Crook and Murder. I'll be your host, Kenny Crook Irish Kirby. I'm joined today by my co-host, Maxwell Murder, and our special ed reader, Alex.
Radio.
Keep
Alex.
life. Keep life.
Go ahead and take it away.
In a world with a dimension outside our reality, in a world with a man lost deep underneath the streets of Paris, join us for this Halloween special where we present 2 urban legends from the darkest depths of humanity. Welcome, guys. How is everybody today?
Man, that was good. I thought you were a different person.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah,
Great.
yeah, my voice talent really showed there, huh? Yeah.
Totally, yeah. I'm already hitting up all the producers I know, which is 0. So
I know
So we
one.
got
I know a
two
little more.
urban legends tonight. We got the first one's going to be the
Backrooms, which we will go into, and then the other one will be the lost tape, which I guess technically is not lost, but the lost tape of the Paris Catacombs.
I don't know what else to call it. I mean,
That's fair. I
the
mean,
guy lost in the Paris catacombs.
the lost cataphile.
The lost.
The
He's
fa-
not even a cat. I mean, he could be a cataphile. I don't know.
The fake tapes of the Wait, no.
I
shouldn't
don't
do
know.
that,
I
right?
just are they okay? I'm jumping ahead, but I just want to know for my own personal. Are they really called cataphiles?
Yes.
Is that
I
a real
did
term?
not make that up. Cataphiles are people that go.
They
in...
should really get in discussions with the union and get their job title changed.
Yep.
You're the second person to say that. They literally go into the Paris catacombs and map it and explore it, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later.
We'll get into it
'cause
later.
they're
So
actually kind of important to that story.
first we're gonna start with the back rooms, which I was kind of excited for this one because this is kind of a more modern one, right? Well, no, it is a more modern one. So every day we enjoy the realities of life, big and small. Our bedrooms offer comfort in their anonymity. Our workplaces offer comfort in their familiarity, and our family homes offer comfort in their sociality. However, reality is fragile, and if one is not careful of their steps, tiptoe, they may end up no-clipping themselves into the back rooms. Okay.
You said that so happily, like reality.
Dude,
is
because I
fragile.
find the back rooms fascinating.
You're
Those
old.
YouTube
Fuck.
videos, I would want to live there. I want to go.
You
I
want
wanna
to
see
live in
this
the
shit,
back rooms?
person. Yes, 100%.
Why?
I find them
I did-
fascinating.
I didn't realize this story originated on a certain picture message board.
Yeah, same here. I didn't know either, but all right, what are the back rooms? There are multiple levels and over 600 million square miles. And they're like a pretty unsettling place. They exist between the boundaries of our reality as sort of a white space for what we perceive. The rooms are painted a bleak mono yellow color with a moist yellowish brown carpet and a dim fluorescent bulbs lighting it. Kind of think like the lobby of The Shining, right? Is almost what I thought, right?
You know,
It's
I
just
might be able to pull up a picture of it, but keep
Sounds
going.
about right.
but well, I've seen the YouTube videos of we'll go over the guy that made the YouTube videos, which I did not realize was some 16-year-old. So fucking props on him, dude. He's really good at visual effects if that's the case.
I'm not gonna lie, he kind of fucking nailed it when it.
Yeah, for real.
It's almost as good as that birds are fucking drones guy.
Oh, dude, for real. I was disappointed to know that was like intentionally fake, but
I kinda
stroke of
loved it.
genius.
Yeah.
So they're basically spacious rooms that are empty and barren with twisting spiderweb-like corridors connecting them. Abandon all hope, whoever enters there, which is partly maybe why I want to go there, self-destruction.
Absolutely.
Because when you invade the back rooms, time ceases to exist, and that creak you hear 3 corridors back is most definitely not your friend. It's probably some dude in a weird suit.
So Alex wants to commit suicide back there, apparently.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like.
Well,
kinda-
no,
honest-
committing suicide would mean I would go to the back rooms and kill myself. I
Well,
want
how
to
you gonna
explore
get-
them.
What else are you gonna do
He
in the
wants to
back
chill
rooms?
there.
It's not exactly
Explore?
like they don't have a
Yeah.
fucking Monopoly room. The whole thing looks exactly the same. It's yellow
You,
corridor
it's
after
600
yellow
million
corridor.
square miles, and you're telling me that they don't have a game room?
It's 600 million square miles of fucking yellow corridors.
It
What
may
are you-
be.
It's not the
Some of the rooms have to
fucking-
be filled.
You know, like pyramids of Egypt, okay? You can't just. It's not exciting around every turn. Until you get chased by a monster, maybe.
Oh, I had a question about this. Oh, now I forgot it. Fuck. Anyways,
That's fine. Maybe you'll think of the question as we go over the origin of the back
Yeah.
rooms.
I had a question, but I can't remember.
Okay,
So,
look.
oh, go ahead.
I can see exploration in the back rooms being a thing if we could get there and get out of it. But you'd be stuck there, Alex.
That's fine.
That's
It's not like
just
I
like-
would be missing
oh.
anything here.
yeah.
Pretty much my life right now is like being in the back rooms, just fucking empty spaces of
Yeah.
fucking emotion and physicality.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me a little bit of you know, the zoo in Slaughterhouse-Five.
Yes.
Yeah, like he's unstuck in time and stuff. It's like the zoo in Slaughterhouse-Five without a comely woman.
Hold on.
And
What's Slaughterhouse
so-
5?
It's a
Is-
Kurt Vonnegut book about a man who
Oh.
is stuck out of time, so he keeps getting.
the
Well,
exact
I guess-
term that he the
I guess
exact
one
term
way
that
you can look at it is he is stuck in one particular time and he's
Yeah.
trying to cope with it. But
yeah. There's a lot of ways to look at it.
but
the-
he's basically stuck out of time,
Yeah.
like
He's-
skipping between like the present, the past, and the future.
he's
But the future for him,
is a zoo on an alien.
he gets kidnapped. He
Planet,
gets abducted
yeah.
by aliens, and he gets put in a zoo with another woman who's an actress. I think, right? She's like
Yeah,
a famous
She's a
actress.
famous actress. Yeah.
Yeah. And
The
so like
term that
yeah.
the term they use over and over again is he's unstuck in time. That's what Vonnegut keeps saying. which
Oh,
is
I
a
like
weird-
that.
Loki.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really good term.
He says
Unstuck
it
in
a
time.
lot. Yeah, and I think it's a great kind of like wordplay because dude is straight up unstuck in time.
Like
Um,
Loki season 2. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. I haven't
Yeah.
watched that, but we're not here to talk about Disney. Not here about giving them more money. So the Backrooms are a modern folktale. They blend the concept of the multiverse with video games, hence the no clipping. What is no clipping? Is that
Okay,
like when you
so-
clip through
That's
a wall?
fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
When back in the day,
What?
and this still actually exists, clipping is like essentially when you hit an object and it stops you. So
Yeah.
back in the day in like fucking Doom,
Doom.
you
Yeah.
could
Doom
put,
had
like-
clipping problems.
you could put no clip into the command line and you'd be able to walk through walls, doors, all
Yeah.
sorts of shit.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Because I
It's
knew what
essentially-
clipping was.
Yeah, it's essentially a video game universal like universe building. You have to build walls and stuff like in the program and they call it clipping and like I mean if you think about games like one of the most common bugs is like a clipping issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Where did this all start?
I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
Who wants to say it?
Listen,
The wonderful
I-
world of
this obviously,
4chan.
4chan, baby.
this is where it started. Okay, I didn't go to 4chan for research, but this is where it started.
Yeah,
So-
I wouldn't go to 4chan for research. Otherwise, the FBI is gonna be fucking knocking on your goddamn
It
door.
used to be so good. Like before the internet Nazi thing, it was so good.
It's true.
So good. Oh,
Wait, what
God.
is 4chan nowadays?
it's still
Basically,
there.
neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
It's
So-
basically
it's
like
like-
neo-Nazis and like weird pedophiles.
So 4chan
Oh, and-
just became Reddit.
Like if
Slightly
Reddit,
worse.
if Reddit is like the businessman walking out of a corporate building, 4chan is the cracked out heroin addict fucking getting
Yeah.
high on the corner of the building, fucking rustling for some change.
That is
Yeah.
some high praise to Reddit. You know what?
It really is.
Wow.
But here's the thing,
4chan's
that
gotta
they're
be really
both-
bad.
The thing about that is they're both white supremacists.
Yeah, boom, bada bang.
Yeah.
All right. So Backrooms started on 4chan with an infamous photo, which made its debut on April 21st, 2018, but didn't really come to any sense of popularity until May 12th, 2019, when it was posted on a paranormal board in a thread titled, quote, "Disquieting images that just feel off," unquote.
And half of
Which-
them were swastikas.
Yo,
They really were.
What was I watching the other day? And I don't think it's real, but someone had the Volkswagen logo up on their phone and they were twirling it on the phone and it was making a swastika on the phone. What the fuck was I watching?
Oh my God.
Ah,
That's like when Kirby and I made a swastika on our wall. Accidentally.
Yeah, we
Man.
did that.
Yeah, that was
It
fun.
was by accident.
It really
and
was.
due to this post, one of the comments had titled it "The Backrooms," which is where we get the name. A dimly lit yellow maze with the constant thrum of cheap bulbs and a sinister lurking inside.
Also
Uh,
known as
present.
Alex's bedroom, apparently.
Yeah.
the thing,
My bedroom.
you know what keeps coming up and it actually kind of like triggers me a little bit is the fucking fluorescent lights.
That's the
Right.
thing.
It's
Something in the back rooms is going to trigger you.
It's
Whether-
funny that you say that because with my job, I meet people places. And whenever we meet somewhere that has like a lot of natural light, I'm like, oh, do you mind if we not turn on the fluorescent lights, please? Like,
Right?
we
Yeah.
don't need them.
It's just
I
like,
can't.
keep
I
me
can't
in the
stand
dark.
them.
I want to be known
Dude.
as the Shadow Man.
Anywhere I work, I bring a lamp because I hate the fucking lights.
Yeah, I agree. The Backrooms urban legend sprung to life from there, from 4chan. And then made its way over to the Reddit boards, where it created based off of one image. So users would add levels that exist above, below, and to the side of the back room. So it's
Ooh.
kind of also this like, this is what I also like about it is it's kind of like, I don't want to call it like a mass hysteria, but it's this like almost like group consciousness has
Yeah.
built this thing up, right?
It's like a communal sort of like the Tulpa or whatever.
It's Slenderman.
Oh yeah.
It is very similar to Slenderman.
This is like
Um,
Slenderman was 2011. This is essentially the
Yeah.
modern Slenderman.
Yeah.
So, it's so sad when you're like 2011. That ain't modern.
Dude, honestly,
Yeah,
as soon
I
as
know.
I said it,
Like, I
regretted
get what
it.
you mean. Like, I get
Yeah.
what you mean, but
It still makes everyone feel old.
I'm
yeah.
like, the minute we have to say that the Slenderman, that this is the modern Slenderman,
Yeah.
just aged all of us.
I know. Oh god.
So these
Oof.
like these added rooms included, abandoned hotels, shallow pool rooms, industrial complexes, and pitch black tunnels. Denzians were also added, all of them with a sinister, unknown purpose. And if you've ever seen the YouTube videos out there, they're like harmless, but creepy as fuck, right? Like they're
Yeah.
always like in the background or they're like saying nonsense things to you.
Yeah, you know
But
what
the-
else is in the background? Jaguars and fucking anacondas as they stalk you.
All right, Halle Berry.
Such a good movie.
No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
that
no,
was
no.
J-Lo.
Halle
Wasn't
Berry
J-Lo
wasn't- yeah.
Anaconda?
She wasn't in
Oh.
Anaconda. That was 100% Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
still-
apologize. I apologize.
Still an amazing film that everyone should see.
Oh my god, you really should. It's so bad. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. Eventually that Reddit board got too complicated and ooh, should I wait?
No, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, and a separate
I had to
board
turn
was
it off for a
created.
second.
based around the purest version of the Backrooms, which again are these like empty, like almost like office spaces, like hotel type hallways. Very creepy. Basically the original image in its different angles. So like I said, right? So in its purest version, it's basically just like these empty rooms with these empty hallways, empty lobbying areas, office space type
Yeah.
thing.
So what happened was like the back rooms kicked off, and then the community ran with it, and they built it up. And then a couple people were like, that's not back rooms enough for me. I'm gonna have to split off and create my own Reddit board. It's just pure back rooms. So it's like literally fucking religion at this point, where people are like, that's not close enough to the back rooms. I'm gonna have to make a my own back rooms that's more in line with the back room.
I have a question.
Excuse me. Let me just
have-
put my glasses up. And then, like I said before, so we have Kane Parsons, who I did not know this, was 16 when he first made like the first video, which blows my mind.
This is kind of impressive to me.
Impressive. Yeah.
He goes by the handle of Kane Pixels, which is pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
And he used the opportunity to, create a video titled "The Back Rooms." But I think he's made more, right? Because I've seen quite a few videos, and I just assumed they were all made by the same person.
Yeah, he did it. Basically, he did it as a passion project because he
Yeah.
was like,
I like that.
he saw this urban legend emerging, and he was just like, I've always wanted to do something like this. Created the Back Rooms found footage film, which you can
Nice.
find on YouTube under Kane Pixels. That became so popular that it spurned a series that led to like a whole storyline. The Back
Oh.
Rooms.
I have a question. Have either of you found any creepypasta about the Backrooms that is erotic in nature?
I mean, I'm sure there is.
Because I mean, I have to say that the creepypastas with Slenderman, when he takes out his big thick old dick and like does things with it, those are the best.
It's actually called the Back Doors.
I honestly have no idea what you are talking about. The back doors. Oh, that went over my head.
There's
real
a
quick. That's
whole
really good.
There's a whole subgenre of creepypastas where Slenderman, and I keep saying Slenderman just because I think it sounds silly, is recruiting people to go to his mansion in the woods so that he can fuck them.
And we just landed
One
on
of the
cringe
first
Reddit.
questions.
Thanks.
Yeah, one of the first questions on Google is creepypasta okay for kids? The short answer, not really.
I'm so who I want to know who's asking that question.
I don't know.
Why
It's just like
it's
one of
getting
the,
asked
you know how it
so
was like,
often.
you know how it has like the section people
Yeah.
also asked. Well, that was
Yeah.
one of them.
I mean,
Wow.
it's like fucking backwater fan fiction Twilight wannabes. So no.
No. 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction, so no.
All right. So why did the Backrooms unsettle us? The first answer comes from the concept of a liminal space photography, which we've already kind of alluded to, right? It's the practice of capturing a place that should be busy, so an office, a hotel, something like that, but it's empty. So, for example, Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky, which not my favorite movie in the entire world, and then
Never
or
saw it.
Cillian Murphy in 28 Days Later, and I'm assuming Ken that you are talking about when he first gets out of the hotel, right? And
Yeah.
he's like
when he's like
looks at
walking
London,
It's all
walking
empty.
through London, and it's all empty.
and
Yeah.
the hospitals and all that, and all these places that should have people in it, but they don't. And it's like unsettling because we're seeing it in its most natural form without humanity.
This is creepy stuff, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Like, when you see empty rooms, like pictures, this sort of liminal, like photography like that, it is really unsettling in certain cases, especially if the shadows are kind of weird. Like, I mean, 28 Days Later was very unsettling.
You know, it's probably the same concept as like when you're just chilling in your house and it's just you, and you look down the darkened hallway because it's like 9 or 10 at night. And
Yeah.
it's like there's
Yeah, and you get a
nothing
little
down there.
nervous, right?
Yeah.
You guys ever like do that and then like basically run to your bedroom real quick?
No.
Well, that's just me.
No.
I have shut down the house though and grabbed a knife and walked it. Like
There's
it's
been one time where I heard some weird noises, so I grabbed my gun.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that was about it.
I always have my gun with me, even when I'm in the shower. So, like, you know, I was running with the gun, but still.
I have a mini K bar next to my bed.
I am
So if
I'd be
any
flattered by this, but I'm picturing you naked in the shower with the holster. Like you're just wearing a holster. Like you're actually wearing the gun while in
that's
the
actually-
shower.
That's literally what I meant.
and a cowboy hat.
Right, all right. Yeah, the cowboy hat for no fucking reason.
He's like, this is my
And you know
shower
what's
hat."
over the cowboy hat too is a shower cap.
Yeah, technically it's a
You don't want to
Panama
get
hat,
that
but,
leather
you know.
wet, so you
Yeah.
put a shower cap over the hat.
But you only
Um,
wear it in the shower.
It's a shower hat, yeah.
There's another answer provided us from Tama Lever, who's a professor of internet studies at Curtin University in Perth. He believes the otherworldliness of the photographs lead to an almost endless discussion as our minds tend to fill in the rest of the picture.
That
So
is the
essentially our
exact-
imagination, right? Our imagination
Yeah.
fills in the gaps.
That is actually the exact concept of looking down the darkened hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I
like
also-
late at night.
I question this man's authority because he is from Australia, but still, it's a very good description.
What do you got? What do you not like Australians?
Well, I'm just going to guess that the University of Perth is just run by rapists and murderers.
I mean, like it's not like the fucking 1800s
Did what's his name? Did what's his name come back? Captain Blood, whatever the fuck guy you've embodied over these last few months.
Captain Eli Blood. Or Captain Eli Blood.
The final reason comes
So-
from our good friend, a random redditor, Chris Furward, which is
Look, I put this in there because this is probably the most relatable, at least speaking between us three and other
But-
people within our age group.
I do love that you got his name and mentioned he's a random redditor.
That, like,
So if anybody
not-
wants his name, address, phone number,
We're doxing
email,
this guy.
his parents' maiden names. Just email us at the podcast, and we will send out that information.
Exactly.
But we felt for the live stream it was only necessary to put his name and his job title, random
That's
redditor,
random redditor.
his
in his
occupation.
home, in his hometown, and where he's currently working.
Okay, so many of us grew up in the transitional period between the 90s and the aughts, where a lot of buildings in or around us remained unchanged, unmaintained, unrenovated, and surrounded by a strange aura. Ooh.
Ooh.
Many of the places we remember set on the precipice of new/old, strange, familiar, and this led to a shared reality of liminal photography. The Backrooms reaches right into the darkest depths of our nostalgia and drags that concept straight into the light. So I don't want to be like high on my horse here or kind of give away, the type of childhood that I may have, but did you guys grow up in like
No.
gentrified areas that were
No,
falling
well, no.
apart like
No.
slowly? I don't.
Okay, I grew up in dilapidated areas. Like one of my first earliest known homes was actually in the projects of Kansas City.
Oh,
So-
Okay, so it makes sense for you. I
Stuff
don't
like
have that.
this. I was
Yeah.
kind of used to.
I grew up in rural Connecticut, so
I grew up in rural Northern California, so
the only thing I got going on is there was like in a building abandoned up near the campus or whatever,
Alright.
and
I don't know what
that building is still abandoned.
I don't know what you guys see when you see an abandoned building, but I see possibilities.
I do too.
I see a SWAT.
Okay, listen. This is more like, when you walk into those homes or whatever that are still very clearly from the 1970s. And it's
No.
almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
nothing's been updated.
I understood
Huh.
what you meant only
Yeah.
because in like northeastern Connecticut, there's all of the old mill towns that have
Yeah.
like these little tiny downtown areas next to the river and everything that are practically empty nowadays. Like the brick buildings are like falling apart. Like they're like, because the mills dried up and like the
Mills
jobs went
dried up.
elsewhere. Well, it's true
Yeah,
though, right?
I know. It's just a funny.
But they're like mill towns from like the 1800s and early 20th century. So
yeah.
I do know what you meant, Ken. I just I didn't like grow up in it, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh well, excuse me, Mr. Rockefeller.
it's my
Mr.
white
Hampton
privilege.
over
so.
here.
There weren't a lot of buildings where I grew up, so
Yeah, same here. I mean, there are now because they are building a shit ton.
aside from my mansion.
Look, you guys didn't 5,000 square feet for a house is normal, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
I thought-
small house.
Yeah.
That's my house was 30,000 square feet, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I was excited to eat fucking Pringles for dinner, but that's cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed your steak every fucking other night.
You should have done a knockoff brand of Pringles, and I should have been like, "Oh, we had Pringles."
Exactly.
Fucking what's the cola shit?
Fucking marshmallows was the best. Yeah.
Fago.
What's the fucking cola knockoff there? I can't think of it.
Okay. Well, there's the
Dr.
Juggalos.
Pips.
Yeah, the Juggalos drink Fago, which is like, off-brand soda.
Off-brand Fanta.
Yeah, exactly.
So would you guys want to go to the back rooms? Like, if you knew you could get back from the back rooms,
If
would
I
you
could
want to
get back
visit
from
it?
the back rooms, I would go into the back rooms. But I'm not gonna go spend the rest of my fucking life in broken down a hospital building.
Oh, I
Well,
mean,
no.
it would only be like for like 4 days, and
Well-
then you die of dehydration. So
I kind of thought that there was no like time aging or anything in the back rooms. You just go there. You don't get hungry. You don't have any desire. You just kind of stay there. It's like purgatory.
now that would be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking.
I
If
don't know.
if I don't have to eat, pee, poop, or drink, and I get to just explore empty hallways for eternity, I'm
Eternity.
100% down.
It just,
Yeah.
I feel like you would just nap in the back rooms.
Yeah,
You'd be like Rip Van Winkle.
for eternity. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm the troll that you got to get past. Other people come and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "You woke me from my slumber."
Time to get some shut eye, motherfucker.
It's just like, you know what? I'm too tired for this. Just go ahead.
Yeah. don't go in the 6th room. It's got like crows and shit.
Definitely don't go to the one on the left. It's pretty sticky, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
There was a ghost in there. There was a ghost in that one.
It's
That
a
ghost was
lot of white plasma all over the place. Wink, wink.
Ghost was shooting ropes all over the place. Spider web.
But that's the
Some
back
fucking young
rooms.
kids like, we
Back
got to get
rooms.
past the troll goo.
Fucking
That's
a
the
modern day
creepypasta I
folktale,
want.
which is pretty
Yeah.
dope. I like modern day folktales because I like how quickly they become something, right?
Yeah.
Like it is kind of nuts. Like even Slender Man was over a course of what, a few years? Not even.
Well, I mean, he's still around on the.
No, I know,
interwebs,
but I'm saying like how quickly
yeah.
that took off.
If I remember correctly, it was on somethingawful.com, and that was a picture photo contest. And yeah, it was around 2010, 2011, and like it picked up like real quick. People saw those pictures, started writing creepypastas, and then 2 teenage girls tried to kill their best friend,
As one does.
as one does.
Kind of
But
like
people-
what's that movie where the guys are debating whether they should kill somebody because of Nietzsche? It's
God.
based off of a real murder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh God, I know the murderer. It was these 2 homosexuals. God,
They were
who their
college
names?
students, right?
Yeah, they were college students. They were very, very. They were trust fund babies, basically, and like, they took Nietzsche very seriously, like way too literally.
Leopold and Loeb.
That's it. Yeah, it was they decided to try to commit the perfect murder and
Well,
failed
that's also
miserably.
because they didn't fucking understand Nietzsche. Goddamn stupid
Wait,
white fucking
yeah.
crows.
they they their first mistake was like reading Nietzsche as if it's completely literal.
Yeah, which you got to be a fucking idiot to do. But anyways,
Those two were nuts.
all right. Urban legend number 2, the lost tape of the Paris Catacombs.
I love this one because I had heard about it before, and like I love the research that you did on this guy. Like,
All right.
it's great.
Yo, real quick, before we dive into this one, I want to
Mhm.
do a quick shout out to at least one of the websites I researched because they brought a lot of things
Oh, right.
to the forefront. And I did cross-reference it, and I ended up actually diving way deeper into this than I meant to. And we'll get to that. But Unresolved Mysteries, Ghost and Mind Machine, was a huge jumping-off point for the lost tape of the Paris Catacombs.
What's the domain name?
Unresolved Mysteries.
.com?
Yeah, it's actually at the bottom of the page.
Cool. I'll check it out.
All right. So on October 24th, 2000, ABC aired a video segment on the Paris Catacombs as part of its show, Scariest Places on Earth. The video was allegedly recovered by a group of explorers from the depths of the catacombs a few years earlier. It depicted a man in the final moments of his life.
Dun, dun,
Dun
dun.
dun dun.
The video itself starts innocently enough, a few shots of skeletons here, a corridor or two there. However, as the tape progresses, something strange starts to occur. The man's breathing becomes more strained and erratic, his movements become more frantic. He starts looking behind him and quickly darting into corridors as if being chased by something. Eventually, the camera is dropped into a pool of water, and its final shots, and its final shots are his feet and body running into the darkness beyond the reach of illumination. At 288 feet below street level, the man had forsaken his only means of light and was never seen again. All right,
Whoa.
Or so it says.
or so it says.
I just had to go look up when the Blair Witch Project was released.
Was the year before.
99, right?
99. Yeah.
99.
Just because it's kind of like the found footage thing got really big after that.
So, when I first started getting into the paranormal, this is one of the videos I saw, like heavily into it. And it
Yeah.
inspired me to go to fucking Paris. Like, I haven't been to Paris, but I've always wanted to go to Paris simply because of the catacombs.
I've done the tour through the catacombs. It's really fucking cool.
And that's the
Nice.
thing. I would probably try to find a way to buy a cataphile to take me down into the actual catacombs
So,
where everything's illegal.
Can we just make a new name for them now instead of?
I have a question. Are all cataphiles necrophiles too?
No, they're not just down there
Oh.
defiling the dead guys.
I'm
Listen,
just,
they're cataphiles. They defile the Paris catacombs. I don't know why the fuck they're called cataphiles, but here's the thing. I wanted to go over to.
File is what? It's like obsessed, right?
well,
File
I
is.
mean, no, actually, I think it's so catacombs, file, pervert.
I don't think
Right?
they're perverts in the
Yeah, but
catacombs.
no, but file is not
No, it's
dear or
some-
beloved. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
obsessed,
Yeah,
love,
so they
They
love
love-
the Paris catacombs.
catas.
I think when we say love here, we mean like they're fucking down there.
I mean, I'm sure there is
Bow,
fucking going on in the
bow,
Paris catacombs.
well.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
surrounded by bones. This guy's
I'm
like,
gonna.
I got a bone.
I got.
And cata
throat-
is
throat-
downward, but also through, on, against, concerning, etc.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
I gotta throat fuck that fucking skull, man. All right.
Well, that's a necrophile. A cataphile would be more like, oh man, I gotta tunnel fuck that tunnel. Let me throw
Yeah.
that hot dog down that
Oh
fucking
my god, you're right.
earth.
Yeah, I guess if we're gonna split hairs, yes, they are probably sexually aroused by tunnels.
They're like, I love deep, dark, moist places.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We hit it. All right. So
Thank you,
we're gonna
too.
keep bad mouthing the catacombs. For those of you who do not know what the Paris Catacombs are, they consist of over 200 miles of tunnels that run under the streets of Paris. It was made to basically house the overflowing cemeteries. They needed places to put dead bodies during the plague, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Well,
I remember
it was the
correctly.
17th century, so by this
Oh.
point,
Oh, okay, so it wasn't.
France had fought England so many goddamn times that
Oh,
the
yeah.
bodies were just racking up.
Yeah.
So they created the Paris Catacombs because the cemetery started to overflow.
Wasn't there a famine back then too? Like, wasn't that part of the French Revolution? Was like they couldn't make enough bread for their people.
Well, I'm sure the France is
Well, yeah.
people
Isn't
in
it
France
one
were
of
just
those?
dying.
One of those women was eating all the cake, right? Or was that the British queen?
That
Pick
would
a
have been
reason.
Marie Antoinette, and she was beheaded.
Listen,
Yeah,
they
because she was eating all the goddamn cake.
They
Exactly.
won one war, and it was against themselves. So the French Revolution.
I'm sorry. Wait, didn't Napoleon almost take over Europe?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he
But
failed.
I was gonna let that slide.
Did he not fail in the end?
Well,
He
he
got
was
exiled.
Napoleon was such a fucking, disciplined badass that they exiled that motherfucker to an island, and he came back and took the
Yeah.
government over again.
Yeah, he did.
He did it twice.
It's amazing what a short man with a tiny penis can do.
Listen, I've seen the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay.
All right. So a little off track here. So 6 to 7 million people were moved down into the catacombs, and by people we mean dead bodies, corpses. And this I found really fascinating. I didn't realize it was this amount of tunnels. But if you were to basically take the length of the catacombs and put them consecutively, so in a straight line essentially, it would basically be like walking the entirety of the tunnel, basically walking from New York to Boston.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's fucking far.
That's a lot of fucking skulls.
And you live over that way, so you know.
So, yeah, I mean, the last time I walked from,
I know.
fucking New York to Boston is just, it took me days.
The last
I mean-
time I tried it, I walked like 10 feet out of my house, and I was like, yeah, this is too fucking hard.
Nah.
I just
So most of the
hitchhiked.
catacombs have been closed off to the public since 1955. And like I said, I did this. So I did the tour that is accessible to the public, but that's only
Got it.
1.25
Boring
miles.
tour.
Fuck you.
It's still
and,
creepy.
and nobody ever gets lost in that part that
Yeah.
have been reported. But it is pretty cool. The
No,
walk down kind of
You
sucks.
literally cannot
Okay.
get lost in that part. There is
Well,
one
yeah.
way in, there is one way out, and it is constantly patrolled.
Okay, and what if you get lost?
How you're probably the only person that would get lost between the one way
Prob-
in and the one way
probably.
out. Pick a direction and don't walk into the wall, and you'll get out of the fucking catacombs in the tourist part.
All I can think about is a Paris Catacombs version of Gilligan's Island. Like they're all down there. The professor's making fucking radios out of skulls and shit, and like
Oh, can we just real quick? They all fucked, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that you're trapped on an island with that
No.
many people that they're not just like all sleeping around with one another,
Ginger
right?
and Marianne were just passed around like whatever.
Okay, all right. I just
It
want
was-
to make that.
It was the 70s.
Alex,
Just
were
wanna
you
make
down
sure.
in the catacombs for like an hour and you're just like, well, this is it. Guess I'm stuck down here now. I
was
go
down
live
there.
life.
I was down there for about 86 hours.
A 3-hour tour.
It's literally a mile and a half, you fucking dickhead.
Didn't Gilligan's Island end and it turned out they were on a peninsula?
I don't remember.
I
There's a
don't
couple different endings. Like one of them, they were right next to a resort.
know. Wasn't there an ending where Gilligan lost his shit and murdered everybody?
No.
Oh, well, that might have been a dream. Okay.
Oh,
An amazing dream.
This says it just ended with them with them just stranded on the island. That there was no.
Like they didn't have to. Honestly, they didn't have to do anything. They were eating great. They had coconut radios. They had a
Yeah, they were occasionally visited by the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, you can't
right.
really ask
Yeah.
for more than that.
And honestly, who was Ginger the one with the red hair? Because
Really, you have to ask that question?
No, I know it's a stupid question. I realized that I said
Her
it.
name is literally Ginger.
I said it and I thought that's a stupid question.
All right.
He made me grow pubic hair.
Ginger made you grow pubic hair?
Maybe chest hair. I think it was Scully that made me grow pubic hair.
Dude. We can talk about that off the podcast.
Yeah,
I
we can.
used to remember watching Gilligan's Island, and then The Busy World is Richard
Scully was like one of my first crushes ever on TV.
Oh, me absolutely.
Like big time.
Entire reason I married my ex-wife.
All right, so we've brought up cataphiles quite a lot. Essentially, what they are is they seek out and discover or create new ways into the restricted area of the catacombs, Paris Catacombs.
Ballsy.
But whether it's for purely adventure reasons or, which this was a good idea putting in here, Ken, just probably kids just wanting to fucking party, throwing fucking ragers, finding an entrance that no one knew about, and just being like, yeah, let's get it on.
Honestly, that happened all the time. Like, there's this group, I think it's called like Less UX or something, and one of the stories I was reading, and this is also one of the reasons why this whole thing is fucking a shambles, is like the police stumbled across a movie theater in the catacombs that the cataphiles had set up. And
dude, yeah, that's dope as fuck.
I love that. Yeah.
They would just go down there, explore the shit, map it, and throw a party.
Yeah, they bring their beer bongs and or I don't know if the French have beer bongs, but they probably call them bed dogs.
So this videotape was supposedly found by one of these cataphiles, and it was given over to Francis Friedland, a documentarian. And Francis Friedland.
You should have put documentarian in quotes.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason nobody has come forward and claimed it was a hoax, because Francis Friedland would immediately be called into question.
So Francis Friedland, do you guys know who that is? Like, is he somewhat famous?
In fact, allow me to explain. I watched the ABC special on this, the Scariest Places on Earth. I did it in my downtime, and he was basically like, I am a documentarian. I also film like models, and I got all this.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
Photo and video experience, and there was like parts that after that aired of people questioning whether he actually existed. Yet he was interviewed by Zach Baggins recently.
What, really?
Yeah, he was on an episode of Ghost Bros.
Oh man, I love that fucking show.
Dealing specifically with the Paris Catacombs tape.
Zach Baggins is the modern day George Norrie or Art Bell. He just, whatever somebody says to him, he's like, yeah, I'm going with it.
I would say George Norrie is the modern day George Norrie.
Okay, yeah, you are correct. Good point.
But Zach Baggins definitely has a show, yes.
So Francis Friedland wanted to track down the man in the video, right? So he hired Lazar. Is this really his name?
Yes. Lazar Kuntzman is another actual person to the story, and he hired him as a cataphile to take him down into the Paris Catacombs. Now, Lazar is well known.
Cataphile named Kuntzman.
Yeah. Is it Kuntzman or Kuntzman?
No, it's going to be Kuntzman for this podcast.
Yes,
he
it is.
Is well known as part of the French hacker artist underground movement and Less UX. In other words, he's in the catacombs all the time.
Does he just call himself a hacker, or is he actually a hacker?
I don't know. I didn't look into the French hacker artist underground movement because this story got convoluted enough as it is, and we're going to piece through the salvage of it.
There's only a couple of well-known French hackers, and I don't know them.
So Kunzman was able to find the location where the camera was dropped.
What?
And I guess Kunzman and Friedland spent time searching for the man, but eventually called it off because they just couldn't find this dude. That's because he was lost in the fucking catacombs. I don't know what they thought they were gonna do. What, were they just trying to look for his body?
I suppose so.
Yes,
Dead corpse?
because this video was supposedly from early 1990s,
Oh, okay.
and they were
Oh, yeah,
searching
okay,
for the
so-
guy in like 2000.
So
So
he
he
would have been long dead.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the exit that they had planned on was boarded up, which meant that they had to backtrack 5 or 6 miles to the entrance, and they didn't have enough batteries, which is a rookie mistake on their part, to continue.
Seriously.
Losing your batteries in the catacombs meant being stranded in a maze in 100% pure darkness.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Oh.
hold on. I think there's a word for this. It's the bullshit. if you have
Bless
a
you, sir.
fucking cataphile that knows and understands the catacombs to a point that he can find where the videotape was made, don't you think he would have brought extra fucking batteries?
Yeah, for real.
Or the ghosts drained them. Oh my goodness.
You mean the aliens?
Or
Well,
alien ghosts?
either or, you know.
Oh, speaking of aliens, you guys going for that $1 million ring reward money for capturing an alien on your ring camera?
What?
Yo, you didn't hear about that?
No,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Ring is offering $1 million to the first person
Oh
that
my-
provides them proof of aliens via their Ring home security
my
camera.
I'll just
God.
call up my friend Jose.
Yeah, I was kind of busy reading news about Israel, but yeah, sure. Ring.
No, that shit's nuts.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but it's nuts. We had
That's
Aaron
okay,
and I
we
had to
don't need
make
to talk about it.
Aaron and I had to make a bunch of Hebrew phone calls, so let's just put it that way.
I mean, to be honest with you, if we talked about it, my house would get bombed.
Yeah.
So, is it true? Do we think the catacombs? Well, we know Ken's doesn't think it's true. Max?
I think Lazar Kunstman is a charlatan.
Oh, some fighting words right there.
Same with
Put 'em up.
Yeah. Same with Friedland. I think he's a. Hey, I got a question. Actually, is Francis Friedland the guy behind Alien Autopsy?
No,
Oh.
he's not. Like he hasn't really done anything else. And here's my take on this so far,
Because
right?
he did a fucking fake thing, and everyone's like, "We
Well,
can't."
yeah.
Before we get into this, I bet Kunstman was approached by ABC Family, as we'll soon find out, and was offered a ton of money to make this documentary about whatever the fuck happened down in the Paris Catacombs.
Yeah.
So he probably approached Lazar and told him like half the story, and Lazar was like, "Sure, whatever. You pay me enough, I'll take you into the catacombs." I think he is an actual cataphile. Like,
Yeah. Actually, now that I think of it, you're probably right about that. They probably got an expert, and the ghosts drained the batteries, and yeah.
yeah, because you're not gonna go into the catacombs without knowing the fucking place. I wouldn't go into the Paris catacombs without hiring a cataphile, and I tend to walk into a lot of random places like that.
You really do. Kirby has a bad habit of just going anywhere. He
Like
does.
random buttholes.
Well, yeah, buttholes, but also like, I mean, even when we were in Point Pleasant, Kirby's like, I'm gonna walk around the dynamite fields.
Yeah,
You're gonna die one day like that, Curbs.
exactly.
think he
I will
wants
die
to.
doing exactly what I've always wanted to do.
They're gonna
Discover
get
the
you.
truth.
Yeah.
All right.
I will.
So
I will die trespassing, and the cops will shoot me dead.
let's go with
Jay Gaze
let's go with the
says,
facts
and
that we know.
slipping on ice.
All right. So the video is real,
Okay.
right? You can watch it on YouTube. And by the video is real, it just means it exists and you can watch it. Doesn't mean what's happening in it is real.
This is the found footage stuff.
Yeah, I'm assuming the
So
found
Okay.
these are the facts that I'm gonna build to tear it all down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Francis Friedland is real. He's a real person. Ghost Bros interviewed him. We went over that.
fuck yeah.
Kuntzman does exist, and the organizations he is a part of also exist.
He is a major part of them. He's
Um,
actually like a major player in both of them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
No one involved in the airing of the 2000 episode on ABC has come forward to claim it is a hoax. They are still vehement that it is true, and Francis Friedland refuses to re-enter the catacombs because he's a little bitch.
What a fucking pussy.
People do get lost in the catacombs, like me on my 86-hour, 1.25-mile tour. 2 teens had to be pulled out in 2017 after being lost for 3 days, so that actually is really scary. It was fucking crazy. At least one confirmed death
Oh,
has
that is
occurred
kinda
in the
scary.
catacombs, which is a Philbert Aspirate, when he went searching for alcohol to steal, which I don't know why the fuck he would do it in the catacombs in 1793.
It's because in 1793 they used to keep them in the cellars of the catacombs to keep the alcohol cool.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And his body was found 10 feet from the entrance, so good job being a drunk, bud.
Yeah, he just got blasted and died in the fucking catacombs.
Whoops.
And fun fact for anybody that didn't know this, human beings don't react too well to isolation and darkness.
Really?
We tend to not like that, to be alone in the dark.
Huh. I didn't even know that.
So that's
Small
the
confined spaces in the dark. Huh.
that is
So where
the,
do I was
Go on.
gonna say, where does it get questionable, Ken?
oh boy.
Look, give us your
Okay.
give us
Here's
your full
where
rundown.
here's where it starts to get questionable. And I wrote this step by step because I want to take you through it step by step. First of all, the cataphiles who discovered the footage were never identified. Francis Friedland never came forward and went, these cataphiles found this. This cataphile did this. You know, taken by itself, not a big deal, but when combined with everything else, starts to paint a picture of forgery.
Yeah, you need credible sources. Come on.
This means the sole source for recovery of the footage is Francis Friedland and the Scariest Places on Earth crew, which we're gonna get
so
into.
good.
Which we're gonna get into why that's all bad. The source of all information relating to the strange disappearance always traces back to the episode of Scariest Places on Earth. What this means is there is no website beforehand. There's no message boards beforehand. There's no cataphiles coming out being like, hey, we found this random footage. Francis Friedland coming forward and being like, I found this. There are no police reports. So, at best, this means this guy either made a highly illegal documentary by breaking into the Paris catacombs and withholding evidence, or the whole thing was forged. Now, using the power, well, that is the power of deductive reasoning. Do I have any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I really have any questions
Yeah.
either.
I see where you're going.
I think you're gonna pretty much convince me that this was. Do we think Friedland is the one in the video? Maybe he made the video.
Well, I started to research this, and I was like, let's
Ooh.
narrow it down a little bit further, shall we? If the evidence was being withheld, there would be a mention of that somewhere. There is not. Nobody has come forward to be like, Francis Friedland did this, Francis Friedland did this, we need to charge him, blah, blah, blah. Furthermore, future reports on disappearances do not draw comparisons to this tape. That means that when the 2017 teens went missing, reporters weren't like, oh, this is kind of corresponds with the guy that disappeared in the Paris catacombs. And we all know reporters love to draw lines between incidences. That means
and the cops too.
That means the reporters and the news sites do not find this credible enough to cite it.
Yeah.
And then finally, this is the nail on the coffin. Scariest Places on Earth isn't exactly known for its honesty. First and foremost, this episode aired right around Halloween and exactly 1 year after the Blair Witch Project came out. It's a very convenient time for a spooky episode.
Oh yeah.
That's not the worst of it. Multiple groups that have worked with this company have come forward to call them out for oversimplification, overdramatization, embellishing facts, and shaping narratives to be misleading. Now, when I read that, I looked it up and I found the Wikipedia
Mhm.
article part of it, and I was like, that's not good enough to cite. Let me find the original fucking people calling out scariest places on Earth. I had to
Yeah.
dig into the web archives to find this.
Woo!
This is
I
like
love
going.
archive.org.
This is like going to the back room of the fucking library and digging through the dusty tombs. I was like Gandalf and fucking Gondor, looking for why I can take this down, and I found the narrative from the Jersey Devil episode that aired right before that. And this is, by the way, they're all one big episode, so this is like
Oh,
13 minutes before uh, the Paris Catacombs tape. This episode aired. And during
got it.
it, it showed like a girl running through the woods and getting scared. It showed them finding Jersey Devil tracks. It showed them finding a carcass. And on this website, she's like, let me set the record straight. I was not running from anything. I was walking, investigating the forest, and the fucking producer kept pointing off into the darkness, being like, what is that? What is that? And then I got a phone call from the fucking from the rest of my crew saying that they found a carcass. So I of course ran back to meet up with the crew, and what you saw in the video was me running towards the crew. It wasn't running towards or away from the
The
Jersey
magic of
Devil.
editing.
Yep. And she's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
tracks that you saw were immediately called out as bullshit. I saw them and went like, this has nothing to do with the Jersey Devil. What the hell is this? And they edited they edited the episode to make her go, what the hell is this? As if she's surprised by the tracks. She knew the production crew set those tracks there. They look nothing like the Jersey Devil
Yeah,
tracks, and she called them on it. Now, what does this tell me? They went out of their way to plant evidence to suit their fucking narrative, which means they went
yeah.
out of their way to plant a fucking tape in the Paris Catacombs to suit their narrative to sell you an episode.
I also would like to remind everybody that Disney merged with ABC in 1996.
Oh.
And then
Um,
to
Let's
finally
just say the mouse is not as honest as everybody thinks he is.
top it all off, a British cataphile came forward and he was like, listen, I'm a British cataphile. I have been down there many, 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 many times. Those tunnels are all mapped by cataphiles. They're constantly patrolled by cataphiles. They're constantly patrolled by policemen. If there was a dead body
yeah,
down there, we would have found it.
yeah.
And he's like,
A,
it's
a
widely
fresh one.
he's like, it's widely regarded in my community that the whole thing's a hoax.
Uh, uh, I just so the Jersey Devil thing. I found this out recently. Is most likely a hammer-headed bat that those bats were sort of like transplanted from Africa, like with like shipping materials. When you look up a picture of that thing, it looks exactly like the Jersey Devil.
What's it called?
The hammer-headed bat.
Oh, the
Just
other
do-
the other one they were called out on was the Villisca murders, the axe
Oh,
murders.
yeah, the Villisca axe murders have been so like twisted. There's no ghosts. It's a really good true crime story, but like there's so much conjecture and stuff behind it. Like they know who did it.
But the way
Uh,
they put it forward actually caused the town to write Fox, and they were like, "Listen,
ah,
Fox, those photos you showed of that family, nobody knows who they are.
yeah,
They had nothing to do with the murders, and they just
yeah,
went down this list of all the shit that they made up."
yeah. The Villisca axe murders have been used by like every paranormal show because like these houses are supposedly haunted, but like I don't think the houses that they're investigating were even the houses where the murders took place.
Oh.
You know.
Listen,
Also,
Movie and TV executives lying to get views. How
yeah.
surprising.
Oh my goodness.
I
Say
have
it ain't so.
Surprise!
from the
Oh,
beginning of this podcast and into the future, I will make you this promise. I will only present what I know as fact. If I
yeah.
feel a paranormal entity can be taken off the board to unmuddy the waters, I will do that.
I love it. You know, we do a lot of debunking, but like, you know, if you go back to some of our episodes, like the Sally House or uh, Wendigos,
What's
like,
the alien one that we did? That crashed, and it was the family.
Oh, that was the God.
Happened
the
in
Beast of
Virginia or
Bray
something,
Road.
didn't it? Or whatever.
oh, that
Do you
was
know
a
what I'm
long,
talking about?
that was a while back, right?
I can find it, but I mean, there
I'm
are
convinced.
some.
I'm convinced that one's real.
Yeah,
There are ones out there that we as a podcast consider real. You know.
yeah. Like, yeah, like when we, you know, you visited the Sally House, and like we, you know, debunked a lot of the history, but the place is still fucking spooky as hell, and there was weird shit going on in the basement.
The Flatwoods Monster.
The Flatwoods Monster, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you know, you mentioned Zach Baggins, um, and so it wasn't Ghost Adventures. It was a show he did called Netherworld, which was something he did
I'll
in.
show you my netherworld.
It was a show that he did early in his career, and it's very much like how you described this production company. Like, it's like very salacious, very simplified. And this is, I don't want to admit this, but I know Ghost Adventures so well that I know that in the last 10 years, Zach Baggins does not fly. So like all of the shows, all the episodes in the last 10 years have been in the continental United States.
Is he scared? He must be. He's scared of flying.
He has a lot of fears. But yeah, I don't know. Something happened. Like maybe he just got so comfortable in his Vegas mansion that he's like, you know what? I'm only doing stuff that's driving from Vegas.
So
yeah,
what I
yeah,
say
he hasn't
to
flown
scariest,
it yet. They used to do international shows.
What I say to scariest places on earth is, "Good day, sir,"
And suck my balls.
and suck
Yeah.
my balls.
Yes, I said, "Good day, sir," and these are my balls. Yeah. Yeah, this is when you said you were gonna do this one, Kirby, I was like super stoked because like I remember seeing it. I don't know if I watched it when it aired, but I've definitely seen that episode of Scariest Place on Earth. And like I remember like in my mind, like just like sort of the like zeitgeist of it, like I thought it was real.
It's
So,
very
like,
convincing. In fact,
yeah.
scariest places on earth. I even walked into the Jersey Devil episode after
Yeah.
reading how they fucked up the Jersey Devil, and it was still convincing. And I caught one of their edits, and that's when she was like, "What the hell was that?" You
Yeah.
know, and I was like, "Oh, you know, she clearly said this earlier, and it sounds out of place in this one spot." But the
Yeah.
production team is very good at making you think that that's the case.
Yeah. They just took it, like she was like, "What the hell is that? Those are tracks you made." They just took that snippet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it was it's fun. I mean, it's fucking popcorn horror, but I would take
Yeah.
anything that the scariest horror or scariest places on earth talks about and just throw it in the same camp as fucking Jason or Freddy. You guys want
Yeah.
real paranormal shit that like actual facts and the breakdown of them? Come see our podcast, Crook and Murder, because we will constantly only bring you what we think might be real.
Yeah, and don't believe
not.
everything the ghost bros tell you, because you know they're bros.
Yeah.
Bro culture.
Now, I think next week we do have an actual real witch, or the story of one. It's
Yeah.
an Irish witch of a guy that got caught setting his wife on fire because he thought she was one of the Fae folk.
You know what it probably is. He was probably cheating on her. Just wanted to get her out of the picture.
Yeah, just
Or he was drunk. I mean, he's a bog person.
Oh my god, it was Ben Kistler?
We cannot talk about him on this podcast.
Allegedly Ben Kistler?
Kissel.
Kissel.
You don't
Whatever.
even know who you're talking about.
I don't even know his name. Yeah, I had no idea who it was until I had to like look it up.
He who cannot be named. I have a question about this witch before we get into it next week. Is she a buxom redhead?
Probably. I mean, she's Irish.
Doesn't
Yeah.
the picture's black and white? There's not.
Well,
I imagine
gonna-
she eats potatoes too.
I'm just gonna assume she looks a lot like Dana Scully, and I'm gonna have fun with that tonight.
Okay, just have enjoy yourself of guys burning down their wives. Are we ready to close down the podcast, guys?
I think we're good.
I think so. Yeah.
Good job, everyone.
No, thanks. This was a good one. I love these kind of fun little stories.
Yeah, we probably won't do another urban legend until next Halloween.
I think that's a great idea.
I think, yeah, it'll be kind of fun because that was kind of a blast just to talk about two things at once and not touch upon it too quick. And I went down the rabbit hole of the fucking
I can see that.
Paris Catacombs. It pissed me off because that's one of my first videotapes that I was like, oh, this must be a real paranormal encounter. Only to find out it was faked by fucking Disney. So, yeah.
You've got such good citations in here. I'm putting this in the description of the episode.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is good. This is like really well researched. Good job.
Fact, within the citations, guys, under the Devil Hunters, you'll see what I'm talking about. That was a chick calling them out for the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Might read that.
And the Regarding Fox's Scariest Place is another one where they called out scariest places on Earth. And there goes Alex.
What happened? All right, well, I mean, we're trying. Oh, there he is.
There he is. All right, guys.
These.
Keep it weird out there. My name is Kenny Crook, Irish Kirby.
My name is Maxwell Murder, and I will never be going back to Buffalo, New York, ever again.
But Buffalo Wild Wings is still okay.
Yeah, I'll get stranded on Buffalo Wild Wings. That's fine.
And this is special guest Alex. I don't have anything witty to say. My stomach is starting to hurt again.
Okay.
That's why I've been so quiet for the last like 20 minutes.
Alex,
you
go
need
shit
to
yourself.
go take care of business. You need a TCB.
You got
This is special guest Alex, and talk to your general practitioner about good gut health. Very recommended.
Oh shit, we forgot to do shoutouts. Let me do shoutouts real quick.
Do it real quick, man.
Shout out to John Zara. Go check out his YouTube video. He made the song that we were just listening to that I stopped in the middle of it. Shout out to Jay Gazes on Twitch. Go follow his channel. He's a good friend of ours, and he also runs the Upside Down Brain podcast alongside Maxwell Murder. And also shout out to Monkey Grill May. That is MonkeygirlMei. She's one of my mods for this episode, and a good friend of mine as well. And then finally, my last mod for the episode, OGT Nasty. That is OGTNASTY. They're all on Twitch. Go give them a follow. They're cool.
Yep. I appreciate the deep cut from Josh Jay Gazes. That was good.
He is gonna go get some wings apparently.
All right. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And I gotta take care of business too. All right.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Go shit.
Yeah.
Peace.
Just have a fabulous shit. All right. Later, dude.
Peace out, Boy Scout.
It was a good one.
You too.